Today we are talking with Marc Schernberg, who is a partner in our assurance line of service. He speaks 5 languages and has been part of PwC even before we were called PwC. He's also the leader of our SHINE initiative, which is our inclusive business network for LGBTQIA plus people, allies and supporters. Hi Marc, how are you?
I'm great, and Catherine, and yourself?
Very good. Almost the end of the week. Less sunny than the other days, but we can see the weekend, so.
Yeah, but the important thing is that the weekend is coming close. So.
It is.
And
it's going to be so sunny on the weekend.
It appears to be. Well, we'll see. If it's going to be sunny, but especially this weekend, maybe it's going to be shiny. That would be even more important.
Already touching on the subject of today's podcast.
Well.
But before diving deep, could you maybe tell us a little bit more about yourself?
About myself?
Yes.
Okay, so I said my name is Marc Schernberg. I'm French.
Mm-hmm.
I've been working for PwC for the past 30 years.
Yeah.
And I traveled a bit all around the world for private reasons, mainly to Colombia over the past 10 years,
wow.
I think, where I go very, very often. But thanks to PwC, I've also been in various countries, and this is where, in fact, I came across also this cultural diversity, which is so important in our company overall, but also for yourself as such, and that it needs also to be considered when you come across some people.
Okay. And you already very briefly touched on this, but we have something called SHINE at PwC. What is it and why is it so important to you?
Well, first of all, what is SHINE? So SHINE is in fact a name which is our brand name at PwC Global. So it's not only in Luxembourg, but it's throughout the world. We have the same brand, the same umbrella, if I can call it that way, which deals with all the LGBT questions around PwC. So for us here in Luxembourg, it was extremely important to have this brand because it gives us visibility and something to work on and to work with, because we have everything which is around. Why is it that important to me? Well, first of all, because I've always been very much interested by all the questions about diversity and inclusion. I would even say inclusion and diversity. Second element was also that I'm part of this community. And I went through some events, let's call it that way, to write my private life, first of all, of course, but also within my professional life. And this is why also, when I mentioned the fact that I traveled all around the world, I came across some specific elements and I saw some behaviors, some thinking, some way to deal with topics which are extremely different. So being part of this community, the fact that SHINE was effectively appearing gave also a legitimacy to this community. I must admit also that I started to work on this question far earlier than the creation, I would say, of SHINE, because the first serious discussion I had with our leadership here in Luxembourg dates back to 20 years ago, 22 years ago. In fact, I was in Switzerland at that time on an exchange program. And at the end of this program, there was the question, do I come back or, should I stay or should I go? And so the discussion I had with the top leadership at that time to discuss this topic was extremely interesting, and even more interesting because, in fact, they started to ask me directly the question, in fact. So meaning that, do you think that because of your way of life or your way to live, do you think that this is going to be a stopper in Luxembourg? And is this potentially a reason why you don't want to come back? So I said, well, that's a very interesting question, which I never thought about. And I thought even more interesting that the top leadership of our company, at that time I was a young manager, thinking, that they were interested in me, first of all, and on the right question, I would say. Yeah. So very quickly I decided to come back because I think, well, this is probably an environment in which I feel more comfortable and where I may have opportunities to develop. 2 years after I was appointed partner, by the way. And also where I can also probably live my life and be myself, as I would say today. And this is something which is quite unique. And this is why, in fact, this made me come back. But afterward, I thought maybe I'm not the only one person in this situation. That is how it all started.
And where do you feel like initiatives such as Shine could make a difference in a company like PwC?
Oh, absolutely. I think that, well, first of all, the important thing is also that I have always been of the view that Shine should not live for being Shine. Meaning, we are a specific community, but amongst lots of other communities. So I do not want to create a silo, because first of all, I hate silos. So the juxtaposition of various communities not working together is probably not the way I see things. And this is why I was involved in all the topics of diversity, first of all, and Shine being just one more. But we need to ensure that we manage Shine like we manage everything, meaning that we have this umbrella, which is diversity and inclusion group, and we do our policies, our positions, our actions all together and agreed. So no difference, to be always very inclusive, but also respecting the others so that the others can also respect us. So this is why. So for me, yes, Shine is very important because it, as I said before, it gives also a legitimacy to the problematic, and this is how I use it. And for me, it was very important that it was recognized, as I said, from the very, very top of our management.
And not so early.
And so early, and not only in Luxembourg, but worldwide. Because our CEO, our international CEO, Bob Moritz, regularly talks about Shine. And when we have Shine events or DNI events, he appears and talks about this problematic extremely freely, which gives also this, the fact that it's not just artificial or we are not doing things because everybody is doing it, so we should also do something.
Like all the pride campaigns you see online, you're like,
Exactly, meaning that all of a sudden from the 1st of June to the 30th of June, that's the topic. And from the 1st of July until the 31st of May, nothing happens and it does not exist, So
we don't talk about them. We don't acknowledge them.
Absolutely. And this is something which I do not accept. So this is why we have this umbrella, if I can call it that way, this environment which exists, which is recognized, which is acknowledged by the top management, considering that it's very important for a company, for us, because, the diversity of our people gives also the richness of our company. And I think that, and especially in Luxembourg, because this diversity is even beyond Shine, because we have 80 nationalities, therefore we have lots of various cultures that work together and that live together. And I strongly believe that these communities feel at ease at PwC and really consider that they are welcome. And therefore, what is interesting for them is that they can work with a free mind, in an environment which is safe, but also convinced that the opportunities are open, meaning it's for everybody. So, so I think that there's no racial, there's no sex orientation, gender question that would prevent you from progressing, from growing, from developing and reaching your objectives, I think. And this is something that is extremely important to me.
When I came in, because I joined the company in 2020, I felt like it was, when I entered the building, I kind of leave all that behind, because I enter as Anne-Catherine, who's an individual and performing and working and having her own goals. But no one cares if I'm a female or male, if I'm gay or like whatever. They don't care. They just see me as Anne-Catherine, who is there to work and have an added value and an impact on the people around her. But they don't really consider, because it's not important to who I am and what I can bring to the company. So it kind of takes off that, that mental load of, oh my God, I need to be a certain way to be accepted.
Exactly. And I think that you mentioned John Parkhouse, who is probably, I always call him our first ally, meaning that he's the one, each time we do an event, he's always accepting to talk. I even have pictures where, we created during the COVID time, we created also the Shine masks.
Yeah, true.
And so we distributed those masks, and I have pictures of John walking in the street in Luxembourg wearing his Shine mask, during this very special period where...
and he's also always wearing the lanyard from
Oh,
Shine.
we have the lanyard.
By the way, I really want one of those.
Just come and see me and be nice to me, and you'll get it.
Thank you.
No, but we have various signs like that, and we are a group of people that is indeed doing some action, because I said it does not make any sense that we are all present or doing the maximum from the 1st of June to the 30th of June, and the rest of the year nothing happens. So this is not the important thing. And also considering your question, meaning why is it so important for PwC? You know that PwC, we would be nothing without our people, first of all, but we would be also nothing without our clients. And for me, it was also extremely important that we work together with the external world. Because, working, as I said before, Shine for Shine does not interest me. But the same is true also for PwC. Shine does not interest me. What is important to me is that we have also an impact outside of the walls of PwC. And so this is why, in fact, we have also created through relationships, which is something which is very important also in this area. We have also, through those relationships, created a real network of companies in Luxembourg, where we have open discussions amongst and between the various groups, taking care of the Shine equivalent groups in those companies, but also at the very top management, which is also something which is something brand new, which did not exist 20 years ago, but over the past 7-8 years, have really developed, and today we work really together, because we do events together. We organize regularly events at PwC, but PwC is just hosting those events. We work together with IMS, which is an important stakeholder to all this problematic around sustainability in general, and the people sustainability is one key element here. And we work together with all those companies to invite speakers, to talk about some topics, and we invite whoever is interested to come. And last event, we were around 80 people from all the world around Luxembourg, meaning that it's not only the financial service, but any other industry or any other employer was also present. So this way, in fact, little by little, we also have an impact outside of PwC, and I think that is something which is extremely important to me, meaning that we are also citizens of Luxembourg, and therefore we have also a responsibility, being also one of the 10 largest employers in the country. So we have a responsibility here, because it's also a question when it comes to LGBT or whatever question here, but what does PwC think? This is why we are regularly invited to conferences. Well, of course, during the months of June, every 2 days I was attending on conference. Let's talk about this and this and that. But I mean, there are also some other conferences about diversity and inclusion, specifically about LGBT, but also more general, where we are invited, and people also want to hear what has PwC to say about this topic. And I think this is also something that we need to integrate, that we are looked at, because we are a big employer, we are very present on a lot of topics, and everything we do can potentially be also a model for others. And I think this is...
As we should. I think, as you said, we are one of the biggest employers. We need to be a role model for those type of topics. And you already mentioned something that you feel like there has been a change throughout the past few years. You got lucky that already 20 years ago, like, top leadership was aware that we need to address those things, and we cannot just cover them up and feel like, oh, it's not existent. But do you feel there has been a shift in mindset and openness? Maybe not towards leadership, because that has already been the case, but maybe towards your colleagues or the people you work with. Because I come from the countryside, 10 years ago, I have a lot of friends from the LGBTQIA community. They still didn't feel at ease to talk about it 10 years ago.
No, it's absolutely true. Huh? And this is why, for us, it's very important that we talk about it, so that the people who wish to talk about it, or who wish to be considered as they really are, have the opportunity to be this person. There are lots of elements that that prevent also people not to, even though they are in a safe environment here, they do not want to talk about it because from a cultural point of view, first of all, as a reminder, we are 80 nationalities, meaning also at least 80 cultural diversity. So not everybody is open to bring this to work. But it's important for the ones for whom it is important that we give this safe environment and that everybody feels that, yes, it's not a problem, but it's also very open and it's safe to be who you are. You know, I always remember, and these days, maybe not 10 years ago, but I mean, some years ago, I was invited, and we were at the very early stage to say, okay, now we need to formalize a lot of things, because even though, as I mentioned, the top leadership to whom I talked about was 20 years ago, but it does not mean that we structured a lot of things in between. But little by little, it became more and more important because as I was more and more invited to some conferences, to the very first ones, I always remember those, typically in schools. I remember I was once in one of the 3 largest schools in Paris, invited by this an association of students. And so I came in with my convictions and everything we do at PwC and how Luxembourg is wonderful because we had a prime minister, vice prime minister who were gay, openly gay, married, etc., etc. So this was quite easy, I would say, you know. But I mean, the students were a bit more challenging, meaning that it's very nice what you to talk about, but I went onto your website. Okay, interesting. But there's not a word about these topics. So I said, yeah, that's correct. That may be true. I was a bit surprised because I did not think about it, but I haven't been very active in this area at that time. And this made me really think the fact that we need not only to give this open space to our people who are joining PwC, but we need also to talk to the people who are outside PwC because as said, I mean, well, we are 3,400 people, more or less. But these are the people who live with us at PwC. But think about all the people who do not join PwC. And some of them may also go into our website and to see what do we talk about those topics. Are we interested to talk about on top of we are the best in audit, we are the best in consulting, we know everything about ESG, IFRS, voilà. But apart from this, what do we also have to say, or what do we say? And this is where, in fact, we started also to do some action also on the website to talk about this. In our annual report, to have a chapter about diversity in general, but so about Shine, but also to animate our website and to be openly discussing this, even for people who are not even part of PwC. PwC, I mean, what is important is that the people find at PwC, when they join PwC, what if I can call this, the promise they heard before joining, because we should not forget that we always think that we recruit people, but before we recruit them, they choose us, you know? Yeah. So they choose us before we can recruit them. So it's even more important to ensure that those people indeed choose us, and then we can start the recruitment process. But if they do not apply, we cannot start anything. So this is why it's also very important to show that for us it's something natural.
And that we live it.
I would even say that it's part of our culture and even beyond part of our DNA. And I think that this is also very important for the people who do not join or who intend to join. I mean, make the experience, try us. So go onto our website, see what we talk about and see what our culture is. Talk to people, and I think this is the most important thing, meaning that any new joiner. So this is why one of my action our group's action was also to ensure that for any welcome event or the goals, because at PwC we have those various goals, and that we talk about these topics already at go, so that people also know, well, internally, who they can also talk to if they want to join or if they want to help, if they want to whatever, So communication is extremely important there, but with never lie, meaning that always communicate on things you do, never
make false promises.
False promises, absolutely.
Yeah,
because
there's so much going on that on the market. So I feel it's important that when we post something, it's something we did. It's not something we just feel like we need to put out there. It's something we did,
exactly.
like a conference, as you said, or like a community or an event or something. So people also can sense that we are just not talking about it, something we do on a daily basis.
And I think that there's always a sentence or something that I think about it. It's it may be hard to be a hero, but it can be very easy to become a zero. And I think this is also something that we need to consider, that becoming a zero when people are disappointed or do not live what we talk about does not make sense. So
not at all. And what is something or like an important message you would like to give people out there who maybe are looking for their first job, for their first internships, or people on the market and just, starting their professional career?
Well, in fact, I mean, first of all, that they go beyond the thinking process of what PwC is, and that they are indeed interested in the other topics that we deal with. Go and visit our website, as I said before, talk to our people. But I think that the important thing is that if they want to join PwC, they need to be aware that they join something more than just a job. If they want, I will never oblige anybody to, I do not sleep PwC or I do not eat PwC, if you see what I mean. But I think it's also very important for them because every day you have to wake up and to go to work. And I think that the environment in which you live is also very important. How you feel respected, or just being recognized, or being, okay, I can do my job, but I can also have my life. And I think that the important thing is that any new people who are still outside of our walls, I think that this is something very important, that they should choose the company that fits also this not only the professional aspect, as you said. I mean, I am Anne-Catherine coming in. I'm here with my hat as an auditor or whatever. But that's something else around. And I think that they should the company that fits them all. Yeah. If it is PwC, tant mieux, even better. Yeah. But I mean, I think that this should be the key element. So before choosing any company, get information, talk to people.
Your gut feeling during the interviews?
The gut feeling during the interviews also, because then you have already applied, which is already a very good thing. But indeed, during the recruitment process, if we talk about the recruitment process, yes, they should not hesitate to ask the right questions and to be sometimes, as I said, I mean, when I go to typically to schools to talk about those topics, the students do not hesitate to ask me challenging questions.
Yes, they should.
So they should, absolutely. And sometimes I'm a bit, But voilà, but that's the way it is, and I think they should do the same here. But the important thing is that they should believe in themselves, that they need to choose the life that corresponds to their wishes and to their dreams and how they want to live their lives, and not to start to disguise and to create a persona which is just, I mean, they think could fit to this company, but it goes beyond. And I think that's very important, because it works for several years, but it won't last forever.
Hard to keep up with it.
Because it's you're going to break at a certain point of time, that's for sure.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today and talking about Shine.
It was my pleasure to be welcome and to be able to talk to you about these topics. Thank you very much, Anne-Catherine.
You're welcome. That's it for today's episode, and if you don't want to miss out on our upcoming stories, hit subscribe and feel free to share. Let us know what you think. Thank you for listening, and see you for the next season of Casual Side.